Extra chapter, Gucheng's story. My wife Anan and I took Nanqiao's ashes back home. On the flight, I sent a message to Nanqiao's mother, Mother Shen, using Nanqiao's phone, and in her tone, I told her everything was fine overseas and she needn't worry. Mother Shen seemed oblivious, replying with a simple okay and reminding us to dress warmly as it was cold abroad. Reading her message, I felt a lump in my throat. Tears rolled down Anan's face as she cried. She was still so young. Anan was Nanqiao's senior and friend. Nanqiao introduced her to me, making her my wife. When we got married, Nanqiao even joked about how we should arrange a marriage between our future children. However, after the quarrel started half a year into her marriage with Fu Yanli, she never mentioned that again. She was so fond of children, yet she didn't live long enough to have her own. After getting off the plane, Anne, holding the urn, walked out of the airport with me. As soon as we left the airport, Mother Shen was already waiting for us, standing outside in the cold. It's as if she knew I'd be there. I felt a moment of extreme panic as Mother Shen slowly approached me, and Anne quickly hid the urn behind her back. Fortunately, the urn was inside a bag and didn't draw any attention. I was just beginning to breathe easy. Mother Shen, standing in front of me, spoke with a strained voice. Did you also think that I really didn't know? My body froze instantly, thinking of the grim possibilities. I felt a chill down my spine. Mother Shen reached out, taking the urn hidden in the bag from Anne's hand. She carefully cradled the urn, pressed it gently against her face, and said, "My daughter has returned home." I had always thought that Mother Shen was kept in the dark from the start. Little did I know, the ones being fooled were everyone else but her. Nanqiao, worried about her mother's health, didn't dare to divulge the truth, but Mother Shen had played along to the very end so that Nanqiao could die peacefully. She raised Nanqiao for 28 years, ever since she was born. A mother's instinct is unerring. Those fake medical records, they didn't fool Mother Shen, but fooled us instead. Mother Shen had been composed until the day Nanqiao passed away. She stayed on top of her company affairs and worked late. She didn't pester Fu Yanli anymore or insisted on Nanqiao's divorce. It wasn't ignorance or apathy, but she just wanted Nanqiao's last journey to be more serene, more comfortable. And now, Nanqiao was gone. The person in this world who Mother Shen cherished, worried about, and considered, was no more. That night, the internet was flooded with news. Countless intimate, ambiguous, and lingering photos of Fu Yanli and Wen Xin went viral. The grand marriage alliance between the Fu and Shen families was well known. Fu Yanli initially portrayed himself as a loving husband, but the release of these photos, coupled with the news of Nanqiao's death, led to a furious public backlash against Fu Yanli and Wen Xin. All the photos were released by Mother Shen herself. She then wrote a lengthy post, revealing the humiliation, pain, and torment experienced by her daughter during their 7-year marriage. It caused a huge uproar. After a few days of online uproar, Fu's stocks plummeted. The patriarch of the Fu family was either struck by the shock of Nanqiao's death or the crisis of his business. Within a few days, he fell ill and was admitted to ICU. That day, while Anne and I were looking after Mother Shen, the chairman of Fu, pressured by the crisis, came to visit, and Anne and I tried stopping him at the door, fearing he would make Mother Shen upset. But she let him in. Chairman Fu was filled with grief, first expressing lament over Nanqiao's death, expressing his regret and sorrow. Then, he changed the subject. All the mistakes lie with Yanli and the Shen family. But the old master is aged and cannot bear such affairs. Both the old man and the Shen family are innocent. Mother Shen looked at him, her expression cold, seemingly indifferent or mad. She tugged at the corners of her mouth and laughed. Is there anyone more innocent than my daughter? Chairman Fu was helpless and had no choice but to leave. The Fu family was severely hit. In order to make Shen's mother stop, the upper echelons of the Fu family fought back, preparing to deal with Shen family. However, before they began to act, Mother Shen quietly sold the entire Shen family business. the decades-long family business, the very thing she cherished most with Nankiao. When she sold it now, she didn't even blink. I met Fu Yanli again, half a month later. During this half month, he had been frantically looking for Nankiao. He didn't believe that Nankiao was dead. Mother Shen told him that Nankiao wasn't dead. She was waiting for him in the North City. So, abandoning the company in Wenshin, Fu Yanli crossed half the country, searching the entire North City like a madman, but he couldn't find her. Mother Shen then told him Nankiao had gone abroad. Fu Yanli once again left the country overnight, heading to the country Mother Shen mentioned. The once spectacular president of the Fu Corporation now became the subject of jokes and ridicule. Chairman Fu was once again filled with sorrow and approached Shen's mother, saying, "How can Nankiao rest in peace with you doing this? Mother Shen would have been in her old age by now. I didn't know before, but people really can go from dark hair to white overnight." There was no emotion left in her voice. "We die as a lamp goes out. No rest, no agony." Chairman Fu, for a long time, couldn't say another word. Mother Shen slowly continued, "I believe that the living do not have the most pain, only more pain." She wanted Fu Yanli to live in endless pain. The pictures online had already ruined Fu Yanli's reputation, and at this juncture, he immediately abandoned his company and disappeared for half a month. There was no place for him in the company anymore. The day Fu Yanli voluntarily resigned as president of the company, he looked utterly defeated. He probably began to slowly realize from Shen's mother's many mad activities that Nankiao was really dead. That night, he came looking for her. Mother Shen didn't deceive him anymore. She laid out Nankiao's terminal illness diagnosis, signed by the hospital, the death certificate, the picture of the body, all spread out in front of him. She watched as Fu Yanli slumped to the ground, sweat flowing, face deathly pale. She lowered her eyes to look at him and slowly said, "Nankiao once wanted a husband who loved her and a child of her own. Nankiao's last wish before she died was to get back that piano. You ruined everything." With that, a great panic and fear appeared on Fu Yanli's face. His voice was trembling, like he was soulless. "No, no." Mother Shen looked at him coldly. "Even if someone really forced you to marry my daughter, if you were really capable, why would you be threatened and not insist on going through the hard times with Wenshin? The Fu family used your mother's illness to threaten you. Cut off your card. You're a man. You could have worked as a laborer. At worst, you could have sold your face, sold your body. Isn't that also a way out?" She leaned over, looking at the face in front of her in extreme pain. She continued word by word, "Admit it. You're useless. A waste. A failure. Do I need to scheme to give my daughter to you? Pa." Fu Yanli's face was empty and dead, shaking his head repeatedly. "I don't believe it. I don't believe it." Zhao Qiao couldn't. Speaking of it, he suddenly recalled something, and hurriedly explained in a trance, "I did love her. When I married her, it wasn't because of..." Mother Shen interrupted him. "Your nonsense. No one wants to listen to." Looking at Fu Yanli, she said one last sentence, "If you really feel guilty and sad, then die. Death is the biggest form of atonement." I drove Fu Yanli away. He wanted to take Nankiao's relic with him. In his dreams, on New Year's Eve, I accompanied Mother Shen to visit Nankiao's and Father Shen's graves. The Fu family had suffered a heavy blow, and Fu Yanli was completely defeated, and Mother Shen's face was completely withered. Two graves stood side by side. The ones lying inside were her daughter and her husband. She placed 2 bouquets of flowers separately in front of the graves. Then, she slowly squatted down. It had been more than a month since Nankiao left, and for the first time, she shed tears. She leaned on the tombstone and spoke softly, "You're all so heartless, one by one leaving and leaving me alone." The cemetery is deathly quiet. No one responded to her. On the way back, Mother Shen's driver opened his mouth. He said that he had found out that Fu Yanli had recently bought sleeping pills from several clinics and hospitals. Such a quantity is very abnormal. and it's feared there might be a problem. After finishing, the driver looked over from the rearview mirror and carefully asked, "Should we inform the Fu family?" Mother Shen raised her eyes, looking at him somewhat strangely. After a while, she said, "Are you teaching me to be charitable?" The driver immediately shut up, turned his head back and continued driving. Mother Shen looked sideways at me, her gaze as still as a long untouched ancient well. She asked me, "Little Cheng, are you interested in doing charity?" I shook my head very sincerely. Not very interested. Separated by a window was the icy winter landscape. We looked at each other and laughed, and then together, our faces full of tears. Extra chapter, Fu Yanli's story. After Zhao Qiao left, numerous days and nights, I was engulfed by nightmares. In the dream, she was covered in blood, looking at me from a distance, complaining, "You lied to me." Her complexion was pale, filled with sorrow. It's clear in my memory that the 18-year-old Shen Nanqiao was once bright and lively, full of youthful exuberance. I approached her hurriedly. In panic, I had so much to say, to explain, to tell her, but the person in front of me blurred and turned into Mother Shen. Those words were like a nightmare, like demons from hell, echoing in my ears countless times, like vines slowly tightening around my neck. She once wanted a husband who loved her, and her own child. Her last wish before her death was to get back that piano. I sunk into a massive amount of pain and suffocation, gasping for breath, waking up from the dream. The bed beside me was freezing cold. That day, I bought that piano before Gu Cheng could. Actually, I wanted to tell Zhao Qiao that whatever Gu Cheng could give her, I could too. I wanted to reconcile with her, wanted her to forget about Gu Cheng. I had imagined countless endings between us. Maybe we would keep arguing until we reached the end of our lives. Or maybe we should have a good talk, reconcile, each giving some ground. I thought, no matter what, I would never want to divorce her. I would never let her be with Gu Cheng. I didn't want to let go. I loved her, but no matter how many possibilities I considered, I never thought she would die. A 28-year-old Shen Nanqiao, my wife, she left me so suddenly and without warning. But was her death really without warning? The terminal diagnosis that was once placed in front of me, her obviously thinning figure, and her gradually lifeless face, I saw with my own eyes when she was having a nosebleed, vomiting, coughing up blood. I saw her weakened by a single medical report, collapsing. I saw her drafting a will with Gu Cheng, but I overlooked the most important things again and again. What I saw was her frequent meetings with Gu Cheng, her crying in front of Gu Cheng, his tears for her. That night in bed, she told me, people who are about to die probably lose some weight, but I still didn't believe it. I thought she was just a little sick. So the next day, I went to the company to deal with the remaining issues, planning to take a vacation for a while and spend more time with her. But when I returned, she was gone. When I saw her again, a small square urn contained all that was left of her. I lay in bed, once again mired in nightmare. The nightmare choked my breath. I woke from my dream and fell into another dream, again and again, endlessly. Mother Shen asked me why I was threatened by my family and forced to marry Zhao Qiao, but I was never really forced. The so-called Wen Xin whom I loved but could not have was also a lie. When Zhao Qiao was 18, I made a promise in the snow. I put my love for her, which I kept in my heart, into that promise subtly. I knew she understood. When Zhao Qiao was 19, I started studying abroad, and Wen Xin was just a classmate of mine during my studies. Later, after returning from studying abroad, the Wen family encountered a problem. She was at a loss and didn't know how to ask for help from me, who wasn't exactly familiar. Just so happened that my grandfather saw it and misinterpreted our relationship, because at that time, the Wen family encountered problems and Wen Xin was so desperate for help that she even accompanied a 50-year-old businessman for drinks. Her reputation was bad, and my grandfather was very worried. My mom also misunderstood, and she became angry enough to be hospitalized. My grandfather made it clear that I was forbidden to associate with Wenxin any further. He even brought up the arranged marriage between me and Zhao Qiao. He even said that my father and I should immediately go to the Shen family to ask for marriage. No one knew that I had been dreaming of this moment. After the Shen family encountered problems, Zhao Qiao probably felt that she was no longer good enough for me. Ever since I returned home, she had started to deliberately distance herself from me, and I used the excuse of the family urging for marriage to finally propose marriage to her in a justifiable way. That day, I was extremely nervous inside, fearing that she would reject me, but she actually agreed. I thought, she must have loved me very much. On our wedding night, I gave her my salary card. Afterwards, all my income was deposited into that card. I told her, a husband's money should be managed by his wife. What I really wanted to say was, all that I have, all of it, will belong to her. I was always bad at being nice to people, just as I was always bad at saying pleasing words. So later, when I came across Gu Cheng, who made my wife laugh with just a few words, came across my wife, who unhesitatingly gave the salary card I gave her to another man, listened to them openly discussing how to divorce and how to let me get out with nothing. I felt so sad, so angry, and so humiliated, as if I was the biggest clown, stupid and not knowing it, being played by them round and round, while I was still secretly fantasizing about the possibility that the card was a misunderstanding. A few days later, one night, I saw Zhao Qiao again driving alone to Gu Cheng's residence. She stayed there for a whole night, not until the second day. Near noon, did she come out. She had changed into sleepwear, her face pleasant as she drove away alone. The fantasies in my heart were completely shattered. So, I found Wenxin back, made up a story of love but failed to have it. I was just unwilling to admit, unwilling to question that Zhao Qiao had betrayed me, played with me. I just wanted her to taste it too. Being disgusted, betrayed, and abandoned, I confined myself in the room. The curtains were tightly drawn. It was pitch dark. In the dark, it felt like Zhao Qiao was still by my side. My assistant suddenly came looking for me. He took out a piece of news for me to see, telling me that the famous actress Anne has revealed her love companion. She has a husband of nearly 10 years. I glanced at him sidelong, suspicious that he was crazy. What was he talking about at this moment? Until the assistant spoke again. Her husband is Gu Cheng. I shook violently. The picture of Zhao Qiao in my hand quickly fell to the ground. Looking somewhat uneasy, the assistant continued to say, their relationship is said to be very intense. 7 years ago, when Mr. Gu's law firm got into trouble, Mr. Gu was thinking of divorcing her to not implicate her. He even went so far as to fabricate evidence of betraying his marriage to let his wife take all the assets. My body froze completely. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. A lot of truth only needs a tiny opening. I remembered that Zhao Qiao went to Gu Cheng's residence alone that night. Actually, not long after she left, I saw another woman coming out. Later I also got the news that Gu Cheng went abroad for a business trip that week. But at that time, I was blinded by anger. Except for the fact that Zhao Qiao had spent the night at Gu Cheng's residence, I didn't want to pay more attention to anything else. Everything, all of it. I had a dispute with Zhao Qiao. Resentment, pointing at each other. All the errors began from there. I shook as I grasped the edge of the sofa and staggered to my feet. Then my vision darkened and I fell hard. The assistant rushed forward in panic to assist me. Mr. Fu, are you all right? I looked at him, suddenly feeling an overwhelming sense of cluelessness. I spoke with difficulty. I want to see Zhao Qiao. The assistant was silent. I didn't know what to do. I have so much to say to her. The only response was a silence as bottomless as an abyss. Suddenly, I felt drained of all strength. I slumped down, picked up Zhao Qiao's picture with shaking hands. The picture was pressed against my chest, thin and cold. I would never be able to hold the person I love in my arms in this life again. That warm, lively woman who would blush and tell me she loves me, scowl and tell me she hates me, hold me, blame me, question me, and later say she wanted to divorce me out of sheer hatred. I can never see her again, unworthy of seeing her. I clung desperately to the picture and couldn't control myself, starting to sob. There's no going back. Never. Explanation. Confession. An apology. Reconciliation. None will ever come. As Shen's mother said, I don't want to hear your nonsense. My lover. She can't hear me anymore. The word sorry. I can't express it in the rest of my life. The snow in the South City had melted. The curtains were drawn and the sunlight poured in. However, I knew that for the rest of my life, I would never see the light again. That day, Shen's mother said to me, if you really feel guilty and sad, death is the sincerest way to atone for your sins. She was right. It's time to go to Zhaoqiao. The promise I made was broken. When Xin came to see me again, she was crying and screaming outside, begging me for some more money. Her family is a bottomless pit. Her father is in the hospital, requiring a lot of daily medical expenses. Her mother, who used to squander money, hasn't changed her habits. She stole the money when Xin and her sister had pooled together and gambled it away. Her father's condition worsened, waiting for money to be moved into ICU. I heard Wenzin crying outside. Ask Mr. Fu to help me again. What do you need me to do? I can continue. I can do even better than before. I looked out through the window, then closed it, cutting off all the sounds from outside. I thought of that day when Zhao Qiao just got the terminal illness diagnosis. We had so many fights over the divorce. I thought that was just her new tactic, using a bitter trick strategy to pressure me into agreeing to the divorce. I couldn't agree, so I didn't go to the hospital. She found Wenzin's sister. I was even more convinced that she had ulterior motives. Otherwise, how could she happen to find a part-time job and meet someone she knew? But that was just a coincidence. Wen's family had a problem, and the sisters were looking everywhere for a chance to earn money. They did everything. Wenzin's sister was young, so she could only find part-time jobs like running errands. By some strange twist of fate, she was found by Zhao Qiao, because she thought Zhao Qiao looked familiar. She told Wenzin about it, but I, with the meanest thoughts, speculated about all of Zhao Qiao's actions. The day when Zhao Qiao came to terms with her terminal illness, I forcefully threw the diagnosis in front of her. When she fell to the ground, I cursed her disgusting. 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 I lean against the window, slowly sliding down. A sharp pain in my chest makes my palms tremble as I cover my heart. The pain, however, refuses to ebb, like the sharpest blade stirring in my heart. The pain is bone deep, chilling me to the core. That day, she fell to the floor and fell into a coma, and I, holding Wenzin's hand, indifferently walked out the door. What was Zhao Qiao thinking at that time? Her husband, who once promised her everything, abandoned her at her most desperate moment. He turned her terminal illness into a joke. He shamed her, telling her mother about it. My Zhao Qiao, how desperate was she? I'm trapped in a dim room, a cage that never sees the light of day. Disgusting, I whisper. Shen Nankyo, you disgust me. Why won't a malicious woman like you just die? My hands clench into fists as they tremble uncontrollably. My body turns cold, the metallic taste of blood suddenly rushing up my throat. I heave violently, the bright red bile staining the dark carpet, just like the blood that dripped from Zhao Qiao's nose that day, slowly spreading on the back of her hand. I try to wipe the blood off the carpet, shaking, but the more I smudge it, the more it seems to spread. It can't be erased. It will never be erased. Those who leave will never return. Fu Yanli, you deserve to die. Wenzin is dead. Wenzin's father died in the hospital because he couldn't be rescued in time. Wenzin's mother owed countless debts outside, all pressing on to Wenzin. Wenzin, unable to bear the huge pressure, jumped off a high-rise building. One day, Wenzin's sister came to see me. Why wouldn't you help us again? Why did you just stand by and watch us die? she asked me in despair. I just looked at her indifferently and didn't say anything. Because I'm not a good person. I never have been. At night, I lie in Xiaoqiu's bed and can't sleep all night. In the early morning, I open the drawer and find her unfinished sleeping pills. I suddenly remembered how painful the terminal stage of her disease must have been. Brain cancer, I heard, is the most painful terminal illness. Towards the end, she would suffer from increasingly frequent severe headaches. After that would come intense body pain, gastric bleeding. I glance around the empty room. There isn't much left of her belongings. Over the past 7 years, our fights have been fierce. She used to love shopping. She used to buy a lot of things. But then she gradually lost interest, became silent, became indifferent to many things. I took the pills left by Xiaoqia and put them in my mouth before swallowing them. Sadly, I woke up to see the sun again. It seems it's not that easy to see her again. I ran to many hospitals and clinics and bought a lot of drugs. This time, I can finally see her as I wished. The last time, I visited my grandfather. He took my hand, his face filled with sadness, and asked, "Do you think that Grandpa has been favoring Nanqiao these years?" His aged hand patted the back of mine. "The one I truly care about is you, my grandson." Words lodged in my throat, rendering me speechless. My grandfather sighed and quietly continued, "You've been growing up under my watch. How could I not see what you're thinking in your heart? How you truly feel about Nanqiao? I have been good to Nanqiao, to let her know that the Fu family will not wrong her, and neither will you. I wanted her to have a good life with you, to make you happy. But you. All I saw then was a foggy haze. I took all the medicine and returned to Nanqiao's place. I lay on her bed, in the dark, stuffed all those pills into my mouth, and swallowed them one by one. I suddenly remembered the big snow that happened when Nanqiao was 18. It wasn't long after her father had passed away. In the snowy field, she held my wrist anxiously and asked me with heartache, "Will there be a day when you suddenly disappear too? We've known each other since childhood. You could say we were childhood sweethearts." She was outgoing since she was a child, a people's person. I always thought that she wouldn't be interested in someone quiet and uninteresting like me. That was the first time she was so close to me. My heart was pounding like a drum. As I tried my best to remain calm, I looked at her seriously. Every word a promise. There won't be such a day. Never ever. Upon finishing, I gathered courage, uneasily promising, "I'll always be good to you, never leaving you behind." She remembered that promise and married me. My consciousness stopped in that snow, slowly dissipating. Our memories now frozen, always stopping at that moment.